Good morning to everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss about X bar and R chart concepts. So this purpose of X bar and R chart is to identify some assignable causes exist in the given data set. So let's take a simple example for explaining this. So let's take the given data set, right? So let's take here I have taken 20 different data sets on different dates, right? And each date I have taken let's take some production company is available, and I have taken some production process. During the process of production, I have taken some 5 different samples on each particular date, right? Every date I have taken 5 different samples. So here I need to calculate, because if there is a production process there, so all the production values measurements that has been taken, so has to be similar and close proximity. There can be little deviation in the values, not huge values deviation. So this has to be calculated using this X bar and R chart, right? So how this can be calculated? So using the parameters like UCL and LCL, right? So UCL is nothing but upper control limit, and LCL is nothing but our lower control limit, right? So using these two values, we can able to have for this set of given data set, you need to calculate this UCL and LCL, and that will be nothing but the process which is under the control and process which is we need to plot this graph, we need to plot this values for this measured values, and we need to identify is there any assignable causes that exist which is beyond the control, right? So because there are cases some due to some reasons there are some values that is deviating from the regular similar values, right? So which may go up beyond your upper control limit or else lower control limit. So that has to be identified, and those process needs to be identified, and we need to identify the root cause of that particular problem, so that the process will not get disturbed, right? So to identify those assignable causes, we need to we can use this X bar chart and R chart for identifying those assignable causes. Let's go for the calculation. Before you go for the calculation, here this X bar chart can be used for identifying the assignable causes. There are two parameters exist, that is upper control limit and lower control limit. This upper control limit will be worked based on the formula X double bar plus A2 R bar, and the lower control limit is nothing but X double bar minus A2 R bar, right? So here this R chart is nothing but upper control limit. You need to have upper control limit and lower control limit for R chart also. Upper control limit will be calculated using D4 into R bar, and lower control limit will be calculated using D3 into R bar. So this three values will be offered by you through the chart, right? So you will be offered with the chart and a data sheet, and the data sheet will have these values based on number of samples you have taken, right? That is in case of here on a single date I have taken 5 samples. So based on the number of samples, you need to take the value of A2, D3 and D4 from the chart given, right? So data value is given, right? So that is nothing but A2, D3 and D4. So here in this case, since I have 5 different samples, so I need to take 5 different samples. A2 value of A2 for the sample number of 5. So it's nothing but 0.577, and D3 will hold the value of 0, and D4 will hold the value of 2.14. So let's start calculating the values. So here X bar is nothing but average on a particular date, right? So average, average equal to average of on a particular date, right? So all the 5 values. So you need to compute the values for all the dates, so you can extend, and range is nothing but max on a particular date, max value of a particular date minus min value of a particular date, right? So max value on a particular date minus min value on a particular date. So same date has to be taken. So this is range, and this has to be calculated for all the days, right? So move on to the next one, which is X double bar. X double bar is nothing but average of average. So average of this X bar is nothing but the average of each individual date. I need to take the average of this whole data set, right? So average that has been taken, right? So 2.35 is the average of whole X bar, right? So here this has to be because X double bar is going to be same for all the data sets. So it has to be, if you extend like this, you will have different values. So it has to be unique for all. So that's why this has to be deleted, and it has to be given with unique values. That's why dollar symbol has to be used. Yes, and if you track the values, it will be same for all possible values. And range bar is nothing but average of all the range values. And the same dollar symbol has to be used. And here range bar is also same for all the possible inputs. Now A2 has to be copied. So A2 you will take the value of A2 from the data book given to you, and that is nothing but that is based on number of inputs. If you are taking 6 inputs, and you need to take the value of A2 for 6 inputs, right? So that has to be done, and we will copy D3 also. D3 is 0. This can be taken from the data book given to you. So you no need to worry about it. Data book will be given to you during your semester exams. So all this fine. Now let's start calculating the UCL for X bar chart. So UCL equal to, the formula is X double bar plus A2 into R bar, and UCL is common for all the possible inputs, and the LCL is almost similar formula. So which is X double bar minus A2 into R bar. So this is LCL, right? So LCL is also same, right? And for R chart, UCL value is equal to UCL is D4, right? So D4 into R bar, and LCL equal to D3 into R bar. So you can extend these values. So now you have all the values available to draw a chart. So all the values now exist, and let's go for drawing of a chart. So you need to copy certain values for drawing X bar chart and R bar chart. So here the values are already been taken. So for drawing your values, you need to take the X bar, X double bar, UCL and LCL, right? These 4 values are needed because we are going to draw the graph only for these values, right? So it has been taken from this this entire whole sheet, right? So it is copied here, right? I have just directly linked the cells so that it is already taken from the dataset sheet, right? So here X bar values are already copied, X double bar values, UCL values of X bar chart, and LCL values for X bar chart, right? So in this case, you can see that here this blue color line denoted it is X bar values, right? The X bar values, and this green color line denoted upper control limit, and pink purple color line denoted lower control limit, and the center line, which is nothing but the brown color, represents the X double bar, right? So here this is nothing but the graph, right? So in this case, there are 2 assignable causes that exist. One is nothing but the data set of one is nothing but the data set at 7th data set, and another one is nothing but the 12th data set, right? In these two, 12 or 13, these 2 data sets having some assignable causes, right, which is out of their control, right? This LCL UCL is roughly between 3.20, and the LCL is nothing but 1.5951. So these values, these 2 plots, these 2 points having higher value compared to your UCL. So there are some issues related to that. If you take the data set on these, that is a data set of 7 and data set of 12, right? I think it is 12. Yes, data set of 7 and data set of 12. So showing different set of values compared to the rest of the values in the data set, right? So look at most of the values here in the other data sets are 1, 2, 2.1, 2.3, whereas here in case of 7th data set 6.7, 7.8, 5.7. So which is showing that so there is a issue in this particular date. There is a issue on this particular. Let's take any production process. So some of the equipment may get damaged, because of that the data values may get changed. On the same scenario maybe here also, the 12th of June. So data values, there is a huge deviation also. So there is a issue that is going on. There is a issue that went on this particular date. So this data set has to be identified, and we need to identify the root cause of this issue, right? So based on this graph, we can able to easily identify what are all the assignable causes that exist on the given data set. So if here only 20 number of data sets we have taken, but this will be huge. This will be because we are plotting through a Excel sheet. So if you take some 10,000 or else 20,000 data sets, and we are plotting the graph for that, so which is very useful for us to identify any assignable causes which is out of our control, right? Because in a production process, that is a very important case, right? If there is a major deviation in the observed measured values, then there will be a huge deviation in the product. So that has to be notified, and we need to have the because this will be automated process, right? The values will be automatically read from the production process, and we need to plot this graph, and we will keep on monitoring the things. If there is a graph that is going out of your lower control limit and upper control limit, then that particular process needs to be stopped, and we need to identify the root cause of the particular problem. And if you take the R bar chart, also the same. So here the values have already been taken. Let's draw the values for this. Let's draw the chart for this. So if you select these values and insert line chart, 2D line chart, look at, so the same set of values, right? So the 7th data set and then 12th data set is showing there is a huge variation in the graph, right? Look at, in case of LCL, here 0 is the LCL, so that's why the line is not drawn, and this range bar is nothing but the brown, so which is showing the average of total range, and this is nothing but this blue color line is nothing but the different range values, and this green color line shows the upper control limit, and 2 points exceeding this upper control limit that needs immediate attention, and we need to find the root cause of this. And if you want to neutralize this graph, then these two data points has to be removed. The data sets has to be removed from the given data set, and we need to replot the same X bar chart and R chart to neutralize your values, to get back your chart values under UCL and LCL values, right? So this is how it will be used for calculating and identifying the assignable causes in a given data set. So thank you.